Hey guys, it's Acid, and I have some Canals tips for you here. It's not just Canals; it could be any map really, but a lot of the things are going to be kind of specific to this map, and of course you can apply this to anywhere. Uh, First off, before I get into any like play style tips or anything like that, on this map there's basically two places you can play. You can play the outside of the map, or you can play the middle of the map, which is inside the containers and stuff like that. Now, for me, I'm almost always outside of the map. I almost never go in the containers because typically you're going to get raped by shotguns and SMGs and rockets and things like that. And that stuff makes me slightly upset when I get killed by it 'cause it's just like really. So I don't bother with it. I just completely avoid it. And I have noticed that I've been getting better KDs and more kills this way too. So that's one way to play. Now, another thing to think about actually is the weapon you use. I would suggest you get a weapon and get good with it. Now, what I mean by that is, for me, the M16 is kind of my weapon right now. I can use the AKM and the AEK well too. You want to use them based on the situation. So if say you're playing the crates because you like to play the crates and you don't care about anything else. You just want to play the crates and get good at the crates and stuff like that. And you're playing the assault class. Best thing for you to do would be to grab the AEK with a Cobra sight and a foregrip, in my opinion. If you get those and you can control that recoil, you're gonna have a big advantage over anybody else inside there, except for the people running the MP7s and the P90s and shotguns, which are usually what's in there. So you're gonna be doing pretty well as long as you don't like just rush around through there, because you're just gonna get raped like doing that, whatever class you play as. So if you just kind of play it slow everywhere you go, that'll help you out a lot. The M16 is good for pretty much everything: long range, short range, medium range, especially. It's really good for all that. And the recoil's relatively low. It has a fast reload time and stuff like that. And then the last gun that I mentioned was the AKM, or AK-74M, I think is what it is in BF3. That gun's good for long range. It's got a slow fire rate, high damage. That's what that's used for. You don't want to go close range, battling people with it, because it's just not going to do well. Trust me, I've used it a lot. Another thing before I get started with the gunplay and then like different styles and stuff, is to watch for snipers up on the train tracks and on the crane. Especially in this map, those are the two things that I would watch the most. Now for actual tips. Right here you can see me kind of working this corner here, and I do happen to, rape kids right here. I just killed like a whole family right here. If you play things slow and don't rush around corners, you're gonna get a lot of kills. The same corner here, I pick up a couple more kills, and I know that guy's laying down there, and I kind of pre-fire a little bit, and I get him. Also, that kind of brings me into the actual like tip thing. Work your corners. That's the biggest thing. The worst thing you can do, I don't care what map it is, what game it is, you need to work your corners, because if you're just running around corners, especially if you don't know what's around that corner. Now, if you have teammates around the corner, obviously it's safe to just kind of run around there. But if you don't know what's around there, make sure you play it slow, take your time, work that corner, and try to pick off as much enemies as you can, and also kind of wait up for your teammates as well if you don't have any there. Another thing, when you're rounding corners for any map as well, is ADS. Rounding that corner with that accuracy bonus from ADS gives you a huge advantage over someone who just runs, not sprints, but just runs around there ready to hip fire. They're not going to be accurate. They're probably not going to expect it, and when you ADS, you're probably going to insta-kill them if you shoot them in the head. So it's a huge advantage, and you're probably going to win almost every time if you do ADS. Now, there's some people, especially if you're playing against good players, they're going to be ADSing too, and there's always going to be someone that has better aim than you, and there's always going to be someone that's going to beat you in it. And, you know, it's not a guaranteed for sure thing to work, but 90% of the time you're going to win. I'd say 90%. So, for cornering and stuff, that's pretty much it. The next thing I want to talk about is gun control. Learn your gun. For me, the M16 is my gun. I've had a bit of experience with it. You know, since the recoil goes up and to the side one way, you know, to control that, you want to drag your mouse down and to the opposite way. That'll help limit the recoil as much as you can. And then when you're shooting long range, you want to burst fire. Don't just sit there and open up on them and just let it go, because you're going to become very inaccurate, and you know, it's not going to do much good to you at all. For Canals in specific, you're pretty much safe to go full auto almost all the time. There's not too many ranges besides shooting from like anywhere from this side of the map to the train tracks where you'd have to really burst fire. So you're pretty much safe to just go full auto everywhere, unless they're peeking or something. You obviously want to burst fire to make sure your gun's as accurate as possible. So that's pretty much it for that. The last thing is, well, actually not the last thing, I got a couple more things if I can fit it in. Pay attention. That's one of the biggest things. Like when I'm playing and I'm playing with friends and stuff, one of the things I bitch about the most is people not paying attention. Like, I trust my teammates to watch certain sides, and I know I shouldn't, but you know, I can't really watch everything myself, so I kind of have to sometimes. And there could be like a whole squad of my teammates, you know, there, and they could get wiped out, and it's just like two guys coming, and then I have to watch it. And what happens is I either kill those two guys or those two guys rape me, and either way I'm just like, really, they really just got past us, or you guys really couldn't take those two guys on, you know, something like that. It's really frustrating when that happens, and it does happen a lot. So just make sure you pay attention. Look at your mini-map. Enemies are on there all the time. If they shoot, get looked at, or spotted, or caught by a Mav or tugs, they're on the mini-map. So just look at the mini-map all the time. And that's pretty much it. Last thing I want to talk about is my HUD. You might notice how the mini-map and my ammo are closer to the middle of my screen. I found this from a user config that one of my clanmates sent me. I forget where it is. I'm trying to find it again so I can give it to you guys. It basically moves the minimap closer to the center of your screen so you don't have to look as far, and trust me, it does work, and it's great. But as soon as I find that, I'll put it in the description. Try to find it as soon as I can, so if it's not there yet, you know, obviously I haven't found it. So that's the end of the game, and you know, this game is just a typical game. I went, hold on, let me see, 29-4. So thanks guys, and I'll see you later.